Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty, and this is Reality Table Talk. I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions on the latest episodes of the reality shows we all love to watch. Now, my thoughts are my thoughts, and the reviews I share are from my perspective, but I can guarantee that at least a few of us are thinking the same things while we're watching these shows. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're a return viewer, thank you so much for joining me again. And y'all, I am back with a whole new review for the Never Ever Met Season 2, Episode 5. I just want to remind you all to please like, share, and subscribe. If you dig this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It's a free and easy way to support this channel and its growth. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this review. And y'all, it's a new day with the Never Ever Mets. Charlie is on a FaceTime call with her mom, checking in on her kids and her newborn baby girl. And after the call, she goes into the men's sleeping quarters to talk to Jared. She tells him that she misses her kids, and he's like, listen, if you want to slide, let's go ahead and leave now. We could slide. And I guess he said he done got what he done came there for, y'all, when he and Charlie went to that intimacy room, the boom boom room, y'all, where they did the do. And now he's good to go. But in his confessional, he says that as time goes on, their bond is getting stronger and they vibe well. Charlie tells Jared that she's there to take advantage of this opportunity that they both have to get to know each other better. So she's in it till the end, but that he better be worth it. He asks if at this point she feels like he is, and she undoubtedly says yes, y'all. She is all in with this dude. She's all about this man. He says he can't wait to get their babies together, she and him, and touch their babies together like the Infinity Stones. Y'all, Jared is a mess. Like, okay, sir. So he says that he and Charlie are just as compatible in real life as they are online. He asks if Charlie feels better now that she got to see her baby on FaceTime this morning, and she says yes. She cannot start her day without seeing her baby girl and seeing her kids and seeing Jared. Well, aren't these two lovebirds just a match made in heaven? In the kitchen, Ervin is complaining about Alicia the J. He says they haven't even had a full-on kiss up to this point, and she keeps using her autoimmune disorder to deflect, and she weaponizes it against him. So as he's going on and on, Alicia walks into the kitchen, and there is radio silence. She's about to make some tea when Ervin asks her to take a walk so they can talk. So they go outside to sit, and Alicia has some hesitation because she's unsure of how this conversation is about to go. Once they sit, Ervin starts the conversation out by saying he's done. He doesn't feel that he and Alicia mesh well, and God is telling him to move on. And that's okay. And she agrees, and they would have been just fine had the conversation ended here. But Alicia goes on to say that she feels she's tried to make things work with them, but that she deserves peace, love, and fun. And sometimes you may not find that in the person you expected to find it in. And in her confessional, Alicia says that she's relieved and she's also ready to go home. Y'all, this is like beating a dead horse now. She is over it, he is over it, and I'm over it. So the look on Ervin's face at this point is full on like pain and exhaustion. He literally seems to be in pain, or maybe he's just irritated by like every single word she speaks because he's wincing every single time this girl opens up her mouth. Now, after he initially spoke his piece, he said he didn't have much more to say. But after Alicia said what she said, he suddenly had a lot more to add. And he feels Alicia has painted him out to be a monster. She says that was not her intent, so she does offer an apology. He doesn't feel she even likes him. And child, neither do I. Because nothing he did was reciprocated, and it's weird to him. So in his confessional, Ervin says he no longer cares about her feelings. He doesn't care whatsoever, and he's about to let it all out. And he needs to let her know she's not the one. And so now I think this has become a little cruel on his part and totally unnecessary, because he does go on to tell her that right before he left to come to the Never Ever Met's house, his ex-girlfriend called him, and out of the blue, after not speaking for 5 years, she all of a sudden has feelings. For her to call the day before he left is a sign to him. But then, sir, why did you even bother to meet up with Alicia at this point? Why did you even bother to come to the Never Ever Met's house? Like, you never ever met her before. You could have kept on just never ever meeting her. Why didn't you call it off right then and there if this was a sign for you? You wanted to see if the grass was greener on the other side, I'm thinking. But you figured you had an ace in the hole with the ex. This ex apparently has the emotional intelligence that he's seeking in a partner. So Alicia is like, well, that's great. And I love that for you. And she's kind of dry about it, like not fully emotional about it. She's just kind of ready to be done with this. So he's getting perturbed and he accuses Alicia of trying to drive the conversation to point out where he thinks Alicia's emotional intelligence is lacking. He says, you see how calm I am? But sir, that calmness and the Zen state that you're claiming you're in is not translating to me right now. All I see is irritation from you. Like, if you were a cartoon, we would literally see the cartoon steam coming out of your ears, Ervin. In Alicia's confessional, she says Ervin brought up this ex to one-up her and as a dig to try to hurt her. And he absolutely did. He didn't even try to hide it. It's so obvious that's exactly what he was doing here. She says he's incapable of having grace for someone as delicate as she is, y'all. Like she's a flower. Now, Alicia, I'm going to say this. I believe that you are emotionally delicate. Your emotional state is very fragile. But nothing about how you've communicated to Ervin is what I would call delicate. And actually, it may have been quite the opposite of delicate. But I digress. In this moment, he feels that Alicia is trying to put out yet another negative spin on his character because he feels he does possess the ability to show grace. He thinks Alicia is intelligent and beautiful, and that maybe they would have been better off as just being friends. But at this point, he does not even want a friendship from her. She says, me neither. Yay. And I'm done with this conversation because you're not going to disrespect me. So God bless you. Leave me alone. And she shoos him away. So they both get up to go walk back to the house. And to the cameras, she's saying how toxic this all is. And I agree with you here, girl. This is toxic AF. It's toxic as hell. And I'm glad that this is finally done with y'all because this is wearing on me. I'm not even in the house. So I can only imagine how it's been wearing on y'all. This relationship was so draining. So back inside of the kitchen, Ervin tells all of the other Never Ever Mets that he's going home because he wasn't getting what he needed there. Chris says he could tell Ervin has been checked out. Ervin says Alicia is rude and Stinkle says, she don't like you, bruh. That's the energy I've been getting from her as well. Like, she just wasn't into him like that. And it was giving forced, but not with a whole lot of effort. Ervin goes on to tell them about how his ex-girlfriend called him. Then he says, well, she didn't call. She liked a picture of me and my sister on social media because my sister had just gotten engaged. And I feel like that was God trying to tell me something. Ervin, just 2 minutes ago, your ex called you. But now she liked a photo of you and your sister on the gram. It's not adding up here, Ervin. Like, what's the story? He's all teary-eyed, y'all. He starts crying and whatnot while he's saying this. And Jared and Cinco are trying not to laugh in his face. And baby, if I was there, that would have been a challenge. For real, for real. Ervin is going on and on and on. And this is getting funnier and funnier to me. I swear to God, like, this is hilarious. Chris says Ervin is a crybaby and an emotional wreck, and that he absolutely is. So upstairs, Alicia is running this all down to Brittany. Brittany says she's sorry, and Alicia says Ervin is probably still downstairs talking about it. And was. Y'all, it's like this dude had been staying up on his estrogen supplements or something, because what? Like, what are all the tears for? It was not that deep. So Alicia comes downstairs and then she tells everyone that she's leaving and why. Tatiana says, I'm so sad that you both are leaving, y'all. And she starts tearing up. And that was all it took for Cinco and Jared to have to leave that kitchen, because what Tati just said was about to make them both bust out laughing right up in everybody's faces. So they go into the living room. Brandon follows and says, see, that's how I don't want me and Kiki to be. So they all say they saw this coming from 100 miles away. On the way up to his room to pack, Ervin walks through the living room and says, I'm sorry I made y'all cry. And Jared says, oh, it's all right, bro. It's all good. Now, if you mean crying from laughing, Ervin, then all right, because trust, nobody is sad to see you and Alicia bounce. Like, they are ready for y'all to go. In the women's bedroom, Alicia, Tatiana, and Kiki, they're all crying. Alicia says she wants to laugh and have good dating experiences, not this mess that she just experienced with Ervin. So Alexis says she's glad Alicia chose to do what's best for her. Alicia and Ervin grab their suitcases, they load them up into the back of these SUVs, y'all, and they are out. They bounce. And in the back of her SUV, Alicia is thanking the universe for peace. And I'm thanking the universe too. So now back inside, Brittany and Jared are talking about who's going to go home next. Brittany says it'll probably be Kiki and Brandon, or possibly she and Ty, because of their fallout around that swimming pool the last episode. And really, y'all, it could be any of these people. And I do mean any of these couples. With all of these secrets and all this conflict and whatnot that y'all have, any of y'all could be the next to be out at any moment. Jared asks if Brittany thinks Ty likes her, and she says she thinks Ty wants to sleep with her. So not necessarily like her, but wants to get it in with her. So yeah, they are in desperate need of a serious conversation, because as we all know, Ty likes to joke and joke and joke. Unless he's pissed off, then he likes to argue and become defensive. Brittany says she doesn't like confrontation, but she needs to say something. And I absolutely agree, if you want to work on this and if you want this to become something tangible. Do not put this off and waste each other's time. Get it out and let the chips fall where they may, child. In this next scene, the remaining Never Ever Mets go on a field trip. And they end up at Groundlings, which is like an improv studio, y'all. It's giving improv if you've ever been to the improv to watch a comedy show. And host Taronda is waiting there for them inside with improv coach Jordan Black. So when Taronda greets everyone, she lets us know that the Never Ever Mets have made it through their first week. Y'all, and I cannot believe this. It's only been 1 week. Like, how does 1 week feel like 11 weeks? Anywho, the purpose of today's exercise is to help these folks build trust with their partners through improv. Jordan says you can't have good improv without trust, similar to being in a relationship with a partner. They're all instructed to get up on stage and form a trust circle. One person from the circle is to walk inside of the circle to the edge of the circle with their eyes closed, trusting that those forming the circle will not let that person break the circle and fall off the stage. So the first to do this is Brandon, who, quote unquote, blindly, with his eyes wide open, y'all, he walks right into Kiki. Y'all, and this was so cute. Brandon is totally into Kiki and has been from day one. So he starts hugging up on her and everybody is laughing. And I just thought this was so cute and sweet. In his confessional, Brandon says that Alicia and Ervin leaving was a blessing, and it sure was. because they were bringing down the energy of the entire house. So Brandon completes the exercise and well done, sir. Then everybody else goes. When it's time for Alexis to go, she doesn't want to go because she says she has trust issues. Well, duh, girl, that's the whole point of this exercise. It's to build trust. And Chris is once again disgusted by Alexis because to him, this is a display of her controlling nature. He wants her to let go and be in the moment. But Alexis's control issues, not trust issues, but control issues, it's inhibiting her. And this is clearly a trigger for Chris. This next improv exercise calls for 3 couples to go up on stage. And one person is supposed to start off by telling a story, and everyone has to agree to what the facts are. And then they go down the line until each person has added more information to the story. Brandon asks Kiki if she wants to go up first in the first group, and she's reluctant. But because Brandon is so excited to do this, she agrees to go up on stage with them. Jay and Cinco and Clavassier and Tatiana also go up in this first group. Jordan shouts out the genre of the story, which is supposed to be a thriller. And Brandon kicks the story off by saying, John got unalived, and there was a pow-pow wound in his head. Child, after the others added on to the story, it turns out that John's character was poisoned by Tatiana, and after Jay checked the security camera, everybody wasn't alive. Well, one thing I'm in agreement with here is that none of the story made any sense. But good job, y'all, I guess. The last exercise involves the partners listening to one another. One couple gets up on stage and they're pretending to draw something in the air. One person says a sentence to the other, and whatever letter the sentence ends with, the other person has to start off their sentence with the word beginning with the letter that the last person's sentence ended with. I know that's confusing, y'all, but let me give you an example. In the sentence, today is beautiful, that sentence ended with the letter L. So the next sentence the next person says has to start with the word beginning with the letter L. So if someone followed by saying, life is beautiful and so are you, then that would be the way it's supposed to go. So when it's Chris and Alexis's turn, Alexis starts off by saying, surprisingly, I'm having a great day. So that sentence ended with the letter Y. Chris follows with, surprisingly, and then he gets stopped because his sentence must start with the word beginning with the letter Y. He says, why is it so surprising? And y'all they could have just ended it right there for me, because this is an exact interpretation of how Chris and Alexis's communication is on and offline. So all of the couples go and they all get a good laugh out of one another, and then they head on back home. Kiki, Brandon, Tati, and Clay all ride in the car together. And Brandon says he feels the improv brought everyone closer together. So he's asking Kiki how she liked it. And she says, yeah, it was fun. Brandon says he trusts Kiki. He just wished Kiki was a little bit more affectionate. Meanwhile, Clay and Tati, they're all hugged up, kissing all over each other in the backseat. Kiki says her family wasn't really affectionate growing up. And in her last relationship, that was a big issue. Now, I completely get this because I experienced the same thing with my family. But Kiki, this is where therapy can really help you out. Because if you're unable to show affection to your partner who is craving that affection from you, no matter what kind of a relationship you're in, that's going to be a big issue, girl. It's going to come up for you at some point. And Kiki still has yet to reveal her secret to Brandon about being with her ex up until 4 months ago, although she and Brandon have been online dating for the last 4 years. In her confessional, Kiki says this is preventing her from being herself with Brandon, and she doesn't know what to do about it. Well, Kiki, sweetheart, tell him. Tell this man what's going on. That's what you do about it. Tell this man which you need to tell him so y'all can move forward, however that might be. So Brandon tells her, how can you be so soft but not be affectionate? And she tells him that's what she's working through within herself. Yeah, that and that secret about your ex-man. In Brandon's confessional, he says he wonders if Kiki even likes him. The way that she's acting has Brandon second guessing himself. And Brandon, baby, it's not you. It's all Kiki. And trust and believe you have your head on straight. You clearly show care for Kiki. You show you care about her well-being and that you're completely into her. So, baby, if she can't get it together, I can guarantee you'll have plenty of options, because any woman who actually values herself, who knows her self-worth, and is looking for a stand-up man with very redeeming characteristics and is handsome to boot. I mean, Brandon, you are the full package. They would be jumping for the opportunity to go out with you. I can guarantee that. Back at the house, Kiki and Brandon go upstairs and talk out on the balcony. Kiki says she needed to take a moment because she was becoming overwhelmed. The conversation you keep putting off having with Brandon about the timeline of your last relationship, Kiki. Yeah, I can see how that would be very overwhelming, girl. She says she needs to find a better way to relate to Brandon when she's feeling overwhelmed. Like, for example, during that improv session, she felt overwhelmed when he volunteered them to go up with that first group. And he said, listen, everybody was cheering you on, and he loved that. And she says she thought that that was cute, but that she was overwhelmed. She wanted to tell him, but she didn't want to ruin the fun. So he says, listen, I'm just going to end the conversation like this. And he leans in to try to give her a kiss, but she pulls away. Now, girl, listen to me. If you keep playing these types of games with this man, you're going to lose him. If you're into him, let him know. But all of this avoidant behavior that you're doing, I mean, he's staying the course for now, but eventually he's going to drop off. And that's going to be a wrap. So get it together, girl, for your sake and for his, because he doesn't deserve that. In the next scene, the couples decide to play a game in which a question is posed and the other couples vote on which couple best matches the question or statement. So the first question asked is which couple will make it to the end? And y'all, damn near everybody votes on Cinco and Jay. And I have to agree with that. Now, whether or not they're going to make it after this show is another question. But for the sake of this game, I agree with Cinco and Jay. The next question is which couple is in most need of going to the boom boom room, y'all? Which couple needs to go to the intimacy suite and get it in? Chris and Alexis got the most votes. Now, Chris says Alexis told him he's afraid to go. And Chris said he will not be persuaded to do anything with Alexis until the time is right. Point blank, period. Well, child, that time may never come with y'all. So the next question is, which couple is the least compatible? Brandon and Kiki got the most votes. And y'all, I have to disagree with this. Yes, there are some serious issues that need to be aired out between these two, but the least compatible to me are Chris and Alexis. Y'all, you know what? They remind me of Pepe Le Pew, that skunk from the Looney Tunes, and that female cat who he was always chasing and she was always running away from him. Pepe was trying to make this cat fall in love with him. They're two totally different species of animal, right? Well, with Chris and Alexis, Alexis is Pepe and Chris is the cat, y'all. I'm just saying. The next question is, which couple is the most dramatic? Again, Kiki and Brandon got the most votes. Now, y'all, they have been bickering a lot over the last week because of Kiki's drinking, but well, I guess out of the couples left, they'd be the most fitting. But baby, nobody will ever be Ervin and Alicia for this season. They were absolutely the most dramatic. The next question is, which couple has the most secrets? Everybody but Clay and Tati voted for Clay and Tati. Since Clay told Jared about that secret baby, the secret has slowly been making its way throughout the house, but Tati still doesn't know. So she's like, why is everybody saying it's me and Clay? Y'all, someone please let Tati in on this secret because it's so apparent that Clay has no intention of doing so anytime soon. And it's not right to have Tati looking like this. She's looking clueless in front of all these other couples, and it's just not right. Y'all have been hugging and kissing all up on each other, and Clay, you got her out here looking crazy. But really, Clay, you're looking, sounding, behaving just reckless, just dumb. This whole secret situation and this baby between y'all is dumb. So Jared says, it's just speculation. Don't worry about it, Tati. But Tati says, but it's unanimous. Okay. Tati, go with that, girl. Check your instincts. Use your discernment and run with that. In Clavasier's confessional, he says he's concerned about telling Tati about his 2-month-old daughter. It's a lot, and he wants to time it out correctly, and y'all, correctly, he has not. Nothing you've done to this point regarding keeping this secret has been correct, including keeping this damn secret to begin with. So, I mean, cat's out the bag now. With most of the other Never Ever Mets knowing, you might as well go ahead and tell her now. And if you have any ounce of decency, you will tell her now and not keep this lie going. In the next scene, Kiki and Brandon are back outside talking again. Brandon says he wants to start fresh with Kiki and have fun because the game was eye-opening for him. Kiki says she's tired of being in this funk and she wants to get out of it because it's not only affecting Brandon, it's affecting interactions with everyone in the house, and it's also affecting her. Brandon says he's trying to make Kiki happy, and she does acknowledge that she sees his effort and she still sees hope for them as a couple. So they agree to find a way to meet in the middle and they hug it out. Back inside, the couples are playing pool, and Ty and Brittany decide it's time for their private conversation to go ahead and take place, so they head outside to talk. Now, this is the first time they've had a conversation about their argument since their argument. And Brittany is nervous because she says she avoids confrontation at all costs. Ty starts it off by apologizing for his tone at the pool. He doesn't feel his effort with cooking for her and doing other things for Brittany is appreciated, and it never feels like it's enough for her. She says, so you apologize for saying what you said, but not for what you said. Y'all, isn't that one and the same? So Ty kind of clarifies and he says he apologizes for what he said, but he does not apologize for not stopping right there in that moment to make her a drink. He says, when I do something for my partner, I expect it to be reciprocated. Instead, it feels like you want me to cater to you, hand and foot. So she says, you prioritize me last over everyone in this house. You put me last. You were a jerk in the way you addressed me. You embarrassed me. And because of that, I no longer feel safe with you. I did, but now I don't. He says, I'm trying, but it seems like it's just not enough for you. And in Ty's confessional, he says he'll be the first to apologize. That's not a problem for him. But he doesn't see any accountability being taken on Brittany's part. And now he's trying to determine if this is who she truly is at her core, or is it just the circumstance with them being in his house for 3 weeks? So Ty then tells Brittany they both have things to work on. It's not just him, and it cannot just be one-sided. He wants someone he can work through situations with. He wants a partner. And Brittany stops him dead in his tracks and says, you don't want a partner. You want to be a class clown. You want to be a showboat for everybody else in this house. You want to joke and be condescending and speak to me slowly like I can't catch on. And that's not going to work with me. He says, no, that's not true. And I don't want to leave everything up to you. She says, this must be in your DNA makeup, bruh. Like, you just can't help it. So at this point, she's checked out. She's checked out the conversation and she says, "Are we done?" And before Ty can even reply, she says, "Sounds good." And she's right on back in the house. Baby Brittany is not feeling Ty and she's not here for it. So y'all, on this show, there's a point within the season, within these 3 weeks, where all of the cast has a friend or a family member that flies in and visit. In this next scene, Ty's brother Desmond pops up. Brittany says that she's known Desmond for 15 years and was actually introduced to Ty through Desmond, aka Smooth. That's his nickname. So Brittany answers the door. She lets Smooth in and says, "Why didn't you tell me about your brother?" And Smooth says, "What, how wonderful he is?" Brittany is like, no, sir, N-O. Ty comes in the room from around the corner, and then he and Desmond go off to talk. So next, Brandon answers the door for Brittany's mother. Brittany greets her. She grabs her a drink, and then they go on up to the women's sleeping quarters, and they sit and talk on Brittany's bed. So Brittany's telling her mom about the argument that she had by the pool with Ty, and that since they've been in the house, he's not been attentive to her at all. Ty is downstairs telling his brother that there's been miscommunication between he and Brittany, and nothing that he does for her is enough. Brittany tells her mom Ty is never around, and when she does find him, he's hanging out with the guys. Brittany's mom says, "It's supposed to be about you and him." And he's acting as if he's on vacation at a boys' camp, and Brittany says, "Exactly." Ty's telling his brother about the swimming pool argument and how Brittany told him he needs to get his priorities straight. Smooth says that was disrespectful, and Ty is like, right? So Ty says he's big on respect. He gives it, but when he's disrespected, he feels played. And Smooth says, "You know what, bruh, in that situation, a nicer way to have handled it was to tell her, hey, come talk to me when you have a moment." And then Ty agrees. That probably would have been the best way to start off talking to her rather than blow up like he did. So Brittany's mom tells her, don't give up on things just yet, but you and Ty need to have a talk. And Brittany kind of sits there and rolls her eyes, and she's like, "Another talk?" And Brittany's mom says, "No, you need to do the talking. You need to talk and he needs to listen." And Brittany agrees. She says that, yeah, that's right, because he does do more talking than listening. Smooth asks Ty if he's ready to quit, and he says absolutely not. He's not a quitter. That's not in his makeup. And he wants to work on that relationship with Brittany. So it's their very first argument. He wants resolution. He wants to talk about it and work through it. After the individual talks, Ty and Brittany, Smooth and Brittany's mom, they all meet together in the living room. After the introductions are out of the way, Brittany's mom asks Ty, "Why haven't you been giving Brittany all of your attention?" Ty says he feels a lot of pressure from Brittany to outdo what he's done previously, and at some point, things are going to plateau out. Brittany's mom says, "Well, why can't you? When you do it for everybody else in the house, you're cooking for them, you're catering to them, why can't you do that for Brittany? My husband impresses me every single day." And Ty tells Brittany, "I'm trying to listen to your mom and you, but you need to listen to what I'm saying as well. And that's where our communication is failing. If you want something, tell me and just be patient enough to let me do it. I'm going to do it. I was going to bring you the drink. It's not like I wasn't going to do it, but you just didn't give me time to do it." Brittany's mom jumps in and says, "You have to have more patience, Brittany." So now Mama is calling out her daughter, and Brittany says that she and her mom are close. They talk every day. So Mama knows her baby now. Brittany says, "I just feel like I'm at the bottom of his priority list. I want to be happy here, and I just want to continue to figure out if we're going to make it out of this house together." So Ty says, "Me too." Brittany says, "Listen, I'm going to try to be cool and be more patient." Ty says he's going to try to be more present, and he'll check on Brittany more and be more perceptive to Brittany's feelings. She says, that's cool. That sounds good to me. So then they hug it out, and y'all, all is peace and roses right now. But it feels like Brittany does want to be catered to, and hey, she never hid this from Ty. This is what they discussed over the phone and on video calls before they even arrived to this house. So Ty knew exactly what he was signing up for. And y'all, I'm just wondering if he bit off more than he can chew here with Brittany. You know, not saying either of these two are bad people or that they have ill intentions at all, but they just may not be a match. They may not be able to live up to each other's expectations, or, at least Ty live up to Brittany's. So after this conversation, Smooth and Mama, they leave, they go on home. And Ty goes to get some vodka to put in Brittany's cranberry juice. He's trying to get her liquored up so they can chill for the rest of the night. So in this next scene, Brittany and Ty are sitting on the couch and he's rubbing her feet like a good little boyfriend. And he says he wants to lay it on thick and let her know he's paying attention to her. So they start playing a game, asking each other questions. And she asks him, what about me is most strange or unfamiliar to you? And you know what? He kind of has the perfect answer here. He says, the relationship you have with your son. He's most important to you, but I'm not familiar with y'all's dynamic. So it's unfamiliar to me. And she says her son is the most important person to her. And now that she's thinking about it, she doesn't know if she's ever been head over heels in love with someone before, other than her son. And y'all, that's real. Her son is 3. She's never been apart from him as long as this. And she realizes this could be overwhelming for Ty. Personally, I like to think unconditional love with a partner is possible. I really, really do. I really want to believe in that. But personally, I've not seen it or experienced it in my life. I felt unconditional love from my parents. I felt that. I never felt like they put conditions on their love for me. It's never been, if you do this or if you don't do that, then it's a wrap and you're dismissed. But never from a partner. I've never felt that from a partner. I've never felt that from anybody I've dated, from a boyfriend. I've just never felt that. So I definitely feel what Brittany is saying here. And it's no slight to Ty, it's just real. So he asked Brittany what her first impression of him was. And she says, that you're crazy, but a funny crazy, not an insane crazy. He may have like 1 or 2 screws loose. And he asked, well, which ones? And y'all, this is exactly what Brittany is talking about. You're crazy, bruh. He asked what his body language is telling her right now as he's massaging on those feet, y'all. And she says that you like me, that you want me, and that you're trying to keep me. Well, y'all, he did say he was going to lay it on thick. So, something must be working here. He must be hitting those pressure points just right, honey. He asked how she's liking the massage, and she says it feels amazing. In this last scene, Kiki and Brandon are back outside talking for the 3rd time, child. The 3rd time this episode. So they're talking about how this whole process has been. It's not been what either one of them expected, but Brandon says he didn't expect it to be easy. Kiki was expecting sunshine and rainbows, she says. And even though they've known each other for 4 years, it's hard for her to be intimate with them. Her last relationship ended because of infidelity. So Brandon tells Kiki if it was going to be easy, they wouldn't be there. And although she feels like it's been a bad day, they're still able to laugh, and that's a good sign. So Kiki walks away to go sit down, and in her confessional, the producers ask if she's still in love with her ex. Y'all, she starts smirking, and she's like, why would y'all ask me that? And y'all, that's the end of the episode. Kiki, girl, I want to know what qualities your ex possesses that has you so drawn to him like this, because baby girl, your self-worth here appears to be lacking. Now, I'm not going to say Brandon is a perfect man, but if your ex isn't showing you the same kind of love, care, and attention and respect that Brandon is showing you, and clearly he's not, if he's cheated on you repeatedly, then all of this questioning whether or not you're still in love with your ex speaks to how you view yourself. And girl, please do some work with the therapist so that you can start holding yourself in a higher regard. Recognize when someone is actually showing you what real love looks like and be able to receive it when it comes your way, because there aren't too many Brandons out here in this world or in this dating pool. And baby, I promise you, you'll be hard pressed to find another. I'm just saying. So with that, y'all, that's the end of the review. Thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure that you comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Let me know what you thought about the review. Like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And make sure that you come back for my review on episode 6. I do apologize again, y'all, for getting these reviews out to you late for this particular show, but I am catching up. So I'm working on episode 6 tonight, and that should be out sometime tomorrow, just in time for Mother's Day. And happy Mother's Day to all of you beautiful mothers out there, whether you have biological children, stepchildren, adopted children, foster children, or just fur babies, or if you just play that role for someone else in your life. Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. Until next time, y'all, stay safe, stay blessed, and don't forget to tell someone that you love them today, even if you only tell yourself. Love y'all. Peace.